Hello, today on Trading and Investing, we're going to look at the Trading 212 app. This is my preferred app for investments as opposed to trading. This is where I would look to secure long-term positions on individual stocks or index trackers. Let's have a look. So as you open up the app, I'm currently in the demo mode. But you'd normally see much the same in the sort of cash mode. So first of all, we're on the home screen, and this is my watch list. So you've got a range of different products you can choose from. You should have heard of all of these companies unless you've been living under a rock. So this is how we search for new ones. So let's say we want to add Microsoft to that list. Add to my watch list. There we go, right at the top. So as you can see, currently there's a purple sort of sun on there. That's basically indicating that the market's closed. However, it's showing you how the price has moved out of hours. So as you can see, Microsoft has actually gone down, Amazon has actually gone up, and Google has gone up. This is it. Even out of hours, banks are still able to trade. The indices are still moving. So money is flowing in and out of stock, even though we're not actually allowed to trade them. Although Trading 212 is quite a good app. And quite recently, they've added this function where now you can trade certain ones outside of hours. So as you can see, these bigger companies, they've got this sort of pinky purple colour. If we look at some of the other ones, so like the Vanguard Index, it is greyed out, which means you can't trade this until the morning. I've mentioned before about world trackers, index trackers, and look at this, the S&P 500, dating right back to when COVID happened. In March we were at £38, and here we are today. You would have more than doubled your money just by putting in the most simple tracker. There's a world tracker, which is one that is also a product that I think is a good one to invest in. Let's have a look at that one. So it always pops to the top of your list, nice and easy. So again, it's basically doubled. 55 up to 110. There you go. So, and it's a Vanguard product. They basically invest in all the different indices across the world. I believe when you look into it, it is still quite US heavy, but the majority of money flowing in the markets is in the US market. So let's have a look at one of the ones we can actually trade today. So Microsoft. So you can change the chart. You can look at today, look at the week, month, 3 months, 1 year, and then zooming out to maximum. I believe on some of these you can even go further still. There you go. On the monthly, you can go right back to 2016 there. Can change it to candles. For some reason, I prefer to use 212 on this basic chart. Again, because you're less worried about where you're getting in, because you're thinking of a long-term investment. You're thinking whether you buy it at $420, $440, your hope is when you cash this in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, this is worth, triple, quadruple the amount, possibly more. So with lots of these different stocks, you've got news that you can look at. You can add a price alert. You could say when it crosses $440, there you go, you've got an indication of what percentage that means. And yes, you could put something in there saying sell now. You know, you get to add all these different things. You can remove those at any time. So quick and easy to do. Then you got your stats. So obviously the days range, 52-week range. So as you can see, we're right at the top. So again, if you were trading, this would be almost the worst time to get in. But as an investor, you know, you're looking at a product which has grown and grown and grown over time. You know, any time you get in, you're not guaranteed, you're never guaranteed, but you've got a very good chance to do well with something like Microsoft. Key stats. So we've got the market cap, dividend yield. A lot of these tech stocks don't give a dividend. We'll look at someone like BP in a while just to compare the different dividends. And also PE ratio. So the PE ratios on a lot of these stock is very high at the moment. There's lots of talk about being in a bubble. You might be watching this video in a few months' time and think, yep, we were in a bubble, but at this moment, we're just going on today's chart, which shows, yes, we're quite high up, but as a trend, it has been going up over time. So you can look at the financials of a lot of these companies. There we go. Very healthy profit, constant growth in the balance sheet, good cash flow. So this is it. This is where, although we're in a bubble, all signs show that actually we've got some quite healthy figures there, really. Can look at quarterly. There we go. And you've got some general info about the company, how many employees, where they're based, the industry, etc. So as I say, we can not only search as in type in what we want to search for. I see it, BP's at the top already. But we can actually go into individual countries. There we go, there's quite a number of different countries we can look at. Like I say, London Stock Exchange, energy. Let's have a look at oil and gas. There we go, BP and Shell right at the top. So as you can see, BP, not the same story as Microsoft. We had a huge dip when COVID happened. You remember they stopped using oil because of the airlines. It rose with the rest of the stock and then plummeted. But it's been quite a steady growth ever since, getting back on its feet. But one thing that people like with BP, there we go, a 6% dividend yield. After COVID, that was at 10%, I believe. So very, very good stock for a long-term hold. Some of these, as you see, there's a social tab on this one. So you can actually start your own chat or talk to other people who are investing, see what ideas they've got. Again, balance sheets, all the same things as the other ones. But this is it. If you're trying to diversify your portfolio, you can look at different countries, different industries, technology, healthcare, say materials. That's it. You can really dig in. There's a lot to choose from in all these different countries. all offering the same figures, breakdown of the balance sheet, cash flow, dividend on this one as well. And this is it. So because this one is closed, if you see at the top in the middle where it says AAL, I guess that would be, that one's greyed out. So if we try to buy this stock, at the moment, we won't be able to actually buy anything. So this is it. You've got a simple slider, which isn't the most accurate one. We can click on there, put your own amount in there. So say we want to put in £1,000, review the order, send by order. There we go. So this, like I say, won't actually be placed until the market is next open. If we go to a stock like Microsoft, let's go back to the home screen. Like I say, because it's got that pinky purple sign, you can still actually place orders on these ones. So 24/5 trading. It's quite a recent feature that they've added. And like I say, if you're someone who's a bit more active, then actually you might want to go for something like that. So there you go, it will execute as soon as there are available shares on the market. Because this is it, you're buying shares that someone else is selling. So that will sit on there. Oh, where's it gone? I think it's already purchased. There we go. I suppose because we're in demo mode, we're only buying, in the bigger scheme of things, a very small amount at £1,000. When you think of the millions and billions that sort of float around from day to day. So, but that could sit there for some time. Certainly if you were buying in a smaller company, you could be waiting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, an hour even. But basically, you're buying shares that someone else is selling. So as you can see, American shares, you're not only impacted on the gain and loss of the actual share itself, but there's an FX impact. So this is where our currency either devalues or the dollar devalues. If you're, like I say, holding for a very long period of time, this shouldn't make as much difference because the share itself should massively outweigh whatever the currency is doing. It can, however, make you think, well, actually, I want Microsoft for a long period, but actually, because of how the currency is sitting at the moment, I'm standing to make, 20% gains because of the FX impact. Actually, what I'm going to do is sell now, wait for the currency to come back, which very often it will do, and then I'm going to buy back at a lower rate. So there's lots and lots you can do. Like I say, if it was a domestic share like BP, there wouldn't be that FX impact. Anything outside of the UK, you would likely get that FX impact. Let's have a look. So because I've bought that one now, you can see your pending orders and any shares that you actually own. So that's on the second, your portfolio. So I don't know if you noticed, but when I bought, let's buy another 1,000. Hey, let's go all out tonight. As you can see, when you buy these, you're paying £1.50 for your FX fee. So you're only actually buying £998.50 of shares, which equates to 2.9231 shares. So this is where Trading 212 is quite helpful in that it allows you to buy a precise amount. You can also buy the number of shares. So if you particularly wanted exactly 3, there you go. You can buy exactly 3 shares and it will figure out all the rest for you. There we go. That will sit on the list again, pending orders. So let's say 10 years has passed, you've opened up your app. Now actually you want to sell. Or maybe, something else you've been watching has dropped to a point where you think, actually, this is too good a bargain to miss. I don't want to sell all of my Microsoft shares. However, I want to free up some funds. So you could decide, actually, I'm going to sell 0.9, a very exact amount of shares. Or you could say, I want to free up £1,000. So that will just sell at whatever the market rate is at the moment. Let's have a look at some of the other features as well. So buy, you can put a limit, so the maximum price you're willing to pay. So you say, I want to buy 3 shares at a maximum of $420. Expiration never, or at the end of the day. So if it's a very volatile day and you think it's going to drop to a certain point, you could just put that trade in for the day and it will cancel it basically at 9 o'clock in the evening. It will cancel that order for you. You can then put that in there. By placing these orders, it will take the money out of your available funds. So be wary if you're putting those orders in, that actually that's why it looks like you've got less money in your account than you really have. Also in buy, you've got to buy stop. So you think, right, I don't want to buy now because the market's quite volatile. However, when it seems to have recovered, everything's moving on, I want to wait until it's at $450, and then as it moves through, it buys you some shares. With selling, we've got the same thing. You can either, as I've shown you already, sell a value, sell a number of shares. You can set a limit, so the minimum price you're willing to get. So say you want to get $440. You can also add your stop loss in here. So you say, right, I've heard that we're in a bubble. If it gets anywhere near $400, I want to sell the lot. So as you can see, I bought, I think, was it £2,000 worth? So by putting 400, I'm only going to get 1,876 back. So as you move this number up, as you can see that the amount you get back moves as well. So again, this stop loss you could put forever. So expiration never, review order. So it's not allowing me to do it because I've already put sell orders in. Similarly, you can have a stop loss and then put a minimum price that you're willing to take for it. So that's how you buy and sell. One of the other interesting features I wanted to run through with this one was the pie. So for someone who wants to just say put £100 in a month or a fixed amount, and you don't want to spend, half an hour doing it every time, you just want to invest in the same old companies time after time. So there are ready-made ones that other people have done, or you can build your own one. So let's say we want to have Nvidia, We want to have, let's say, Persimmon Homes. We want to have I don't know. So here's this Richardson Electronics. We'll add that to the pie. Want to have a couple of trackers. So we go for the S&P 500. One of their trackers. We'll go for that world tracker that I've talked about. Add that to the pie. And then here we go. We've got some good sort of options. So most owned, most bought. You know, there we go. We've got Royal Gold, most sold. So they could be ones that, you know, could be a good buy for the future. Yeah, here we go. There's an AI company. So there you go. Along the bottom, you can see this list of companies lined up. So now we've got the pie. So this is what, again, I think is very clever. You could say, actually, you only want a very small amount of that one, a very small amount of that one. But actually, I want more in the S&P. I want the majority share to go into the All World Index. Next, auto invest. So, like I say, you can get it to put in a certain amount without you even doing anything, or invest manually, which gives you more control. There we go. Monthly investment. Create a pie. There we go. So minimum investment £25 to get started. You put your £25 in. Like I say, there we go. Because a number of the markets aren't open at the moment, setting up orders that will just automatically go boom, boom, boom as markets open on Monday morning. One thing you need to be careful of with an app like this, if you are a more active person, is what can happen is big movements happen overnight. Say, for instance, you know, Nvidia completely missed their earnings. The stock drops 10% out of hours. You won't see that price until the market opens the next day. So it can make you panic, make you sweat. So when you turn on, all of a sudden, boom, you get wiped out with this huge loss. But as I say, this is an investment platform. So realistically, you shouldn't really be checking prices because you're thinking, I'm leaving it there for 10 years' time, 20 years' time. You know, similarly, it can work the other way around. You could see some good news, you know, I don't know, Apple send out the new iPhone. You hear in the news that the price has gone through the roof. You check the app and it hasn't moved. It might just be that the market hasn't opened. All of these things feed through over time. So there you go. Like I say, I think they're the more interesting features. You do get sent alarms, you know, like I say, to tell you that certain things have gone up in value a certain amount. They like to notify you. You've got this feature where, you know, it tells you your free funds, reserved for orders. There we go. When you're playing with real money, there is actually a feature just to park it as cash. And I think at the moment they're offering you a 4.9% interest rate just on having money in their app. So again, then it's zero risk because you've not invested in anything. It's not going up and down. Basically, you're just getting It's like having a decent interest rate. I have used it, it does work. It's a nice simple one for putting money in, which is basically instant. And when you withdraw funds, I believe it can take up to a week to get your money out. More often than not, it will take about 48 hours. But like I say, this is what I would see as an investment app. So you're just leaving that money in there for a long period. You can set up standing orders. So like I say, on the 29th of every month, it'll add £200, and you've got things like your Pi, so you can get it to automatically invest as you please. So like I say, super simple, and as with the other ones, over time you'll be able to check your own progress. So hopefully you'll be seeing how your money's grown over time. If you've got any questions, obviously let me know. I hope this has been of some help to you.